Ah, see that? Look at that. Don't that look good?
That looks great.
Very tasty.
So you grew up in Port Arthur.
Grew up here. Born and raised right here in Port Arthur. Grew up going crabbing. I remember what it smelled like here. It always smelled like rotten eggs, you know, the odors.
So you grew up with those emissions, with that rotten egg smell.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't think twice about it because it was just a norm. When I came back from back home from the military after I got out in 1984, downtown Port Arthur was dilapidated. We had white flight out of Port Arthur, I think, in the late 70s.
Did you notice something was off when you saw people with cancer, when you saw people with respiratory problems?
Well, yeah. Once I met Mr. Alfred Dominique and I went to a couple of meetings he had invited me to that was dealing with environmental justice. He said, well, these plastics dumping into the air is impacting our air quality, is killing us because they're dumping sulfur dioxide in the air, they're dumping benzene. And I told him, I said, well, I always knew that, you know, it stunk. It didn't smell good. I said, but I didn't know, you know, just how bad it was. He said, yeah, what you smell is poison. So you telling me that benzene is a carcinogen, 1,3-butadiene is a carcinogen, and yet it's all in our air in tons every day. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hook it up now. All right. What's the one that goes inside? This one, you got it? Every chemical has a fingerprint, and the computer that it's hooked up to is able to identify exactly what that particle is and how many parts per million is coming through that light at any given time. Ordinarily, what we would pick up on the UV hound, is sulfur dioxide, that's always a big one. Benzene, which is a known carcinogen. This helped me to raise the alarm and show that we at least have a problem whenever I'm able to pick up some readings, and then it puts the state into high gear to come and either prove me right or prove me wrong. That's Prince Hall Housing Project.
And just a few hundred feet behind us, Industry Row.
Right.
Here. I mean,
thousands and thousands of barrels of oil per day have been produced there since the 60s.
And this refinery is one of the biggest.
That is the largest oil refinery in the Northern Hemisphere, Motiva. Once that bitumen is processed here, it's processed to be sent overseas. It's not processed here to benefit U.S. citizens whatsoever. Many of the people in this area are moderate to low income, and that's rightfully so, because there's not a lot of folks that want to live next to oil and gas productions, because it stinks, it's not healthy, and we all know it. If you're going to have clean burning gasoline, and the only way you get gasoline is from crude oil, all the impurities that came out of that crude oil has to go somewhere. We're the sacrifice zone. Those impurities are going into my air, my grandkids' air, my grandmother's air, and everybody in this town. Port Arthur, Texas is considered the sacrifice zone.